Connecting. We're live on Instagram. Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday. Just checking if Facebook is coming up. The volume is up and ready to go. Okay. Hey, my friends. And how are you today? Looking good. Okay. Well, we're live on my regular page. Again, this week is all about trying new things for me. I don't know about you, but in order to thrive, in order to move forward, we always have to change and grow. And it's not a forced change, it's a good change because you're choosing to make that change. And you're choosing to grow, whether it's growing personally or growing in your business. And I want to continue with another 3. Actually, today I have 4 on my notes here. 4 things that I want to talk to you about today. It is 4 steps into going into self-leadership. It's moving from triggered to triumph. And who doesn't want to move to triumph, right? Who doesn't want to move past being triggered? And doing this as personal growth. Self-leadership is all about leading yourself. It's all about identifying who you are at the true self, understanding your shadow, and rising above that. You have great self-leadership when you're working on your emotional intelligence. And let me see if I can get over here to my other camera as well, because I'm kind of on Facebook too. So say hello. Let me know where you're from, what's going on in your day, if you're catching the live or if you're catching the replay. But let's move on with self-leadership, because I have some tools, I have some tips and some tricks that have come up many times for clients. And clients always, if you're a coach, if you work with energy, you notice that everything mirrors your shadow. It mirrors what you need to work on. It mirrors that experience you had, so that experience can be utilized in helping others grow as you grow too. You're growing together. And that's why these people were put into your life. They're put into your life as signs. They're put into your life for growth. They're put into your life so you can serve them and grow with them and work with people. So remember, as you grow, your clients and your family will grow too. How marvelous is that? That it's all cyclical. It all moves together, right? Kind of like that big 8. That infinity sign works all together, no matter which part of that infinity sign that you are on. We are always moving again towards that middle ground of the infinity sign. So when I put my course together, self-leadership, it's really about moving from being triggered to being transformed. And what a great tidbit that came up with this. And the first one is self-compassion. Are you compassionate for yourself? Are you loving yourself? Is your heart space open? Are you forgiving yourself? Are you holding on to a grudge maybe for yourself? Maybe not just others. We have to look internally and see what is it that we're holding on for ourselves that we just can't let go. Because that pain manifests into dis-ease and uneasiness, right? Uneasy. And that will stop us and block us and sabotage us, not only in our monkey mind, but sabotage our growth, sabotage our love life, and it will also sabotage our business. So let's have some self-compassion. It is healthy development. It's change, self-criticism. If you are listening to that monkey mind and you're not saying, hey, thanks for the thought, but I don't need you anymore, kicking it to the curb and not letting it sabotage, but letting it instead empower you, that thought and that understanding of where you're at in that moment. You can have that compassion of that thought. We all have negative thoughts. We all do at one time or another. It's how we have evolved in our emotional intelligence, in our self-leadership to triumph, that we are unable to understand what that trigger is. We mirror each other in our lives. We are a mirror for other people. So if we are seeing negativity in other people, or we are seeing something we hate or don't like, it is ultimately truly a reflection on us. However, when you're in the moment, it's not time to dissect what is going on. It is not time to really dissect that hatred, that fear, or why you're fighting. It is time to make things okay, to find some self-compassion for what you're feeling, to understand your emotional being. And you're meant to have feelings, good, bad, indifferent, anger, hate, but not for the long term. We may experience it for a moment, but we are to address that and move forward to our joy and our happy space. The next, number 2, is assertiveness. Assertiveness is in between that passive, I can say it, being passive or being aggressive. Or that doesn't mean passive aggressive. That doesn't mean pretending that you're being passive and letting things go, but still standing there fighting and refusing to leave the fight. That's that passive aggressive. Aggressive is just eagerly going for it, going for it, going for it, good, bad. You're ready to scratch, like a chicken. You're ready to just scratch that dirt to get to what that worm that you need to feed on aggressively. There's a time and a place for aggressiveness. And also, you want to be assertive. So that kind of middle ground, it's that unconscious kind of behavior. The aggressive is the bully and the weakling is passive, because they're like, oh, no, don't. They don't protect themselves. Being assertive is protecting yourself and seeing your way out, seeing the exit. Being aggressive is running towards somebody to kind of bully them or picking on them. But you don't want to be that passive aggressive where you're like, oh, I'm not doing anything, but I'm going to stand my ground, stand right here. I'm not doing anything for the good and I'm not doing anything for the bad. That is a behavior that has come up a lot in many instances for people. You don't want to just stand there. You're not helping. You're not hurting, but you're not helping. It's kind of like saying, I'm undecided, so I'm not going to make a decision. You have made a decision, a choice not to make a decision, still a decision. So make a decision where you're going to be. Are you going to be in that middle ground for yourself without going to either extreme? And that what happens with assertiveness is when you start to understand which way you're waffling toward, if you're going off the deep end one way or another. Are you closing the door, locking it, hiding in your room, or are you going after it, right? What you want to do is, as you start to bring up the emotional intelligence and have that self-leadership, you start to understand where you're kind of diverting from the path, and you need to stay on the straight and narrow. The third key point for today is willingness. Are you willing to do it? Are you like, oh, okay, my coach said write down some goals. Well, I wrote a goal down. My goal is to write down a goal. Yeah, I've had that moment. You can't think of anything. You're just showing up. Great, you showed up. But we're moving past that. How can you kick butt? How can you be a badass? How can you rock it? How can you move forward? You have to have the willingness to be in the moment, to be present, and to try it out. It's to face the resistance to change. Willingness, kind of sometimes we understand our discomfort and where we're uncomfortable. You know, when you're working with, when I work with my clients, I'm trying to kind of get them back to understand, hey, you're never asked to do something immoral, unethical, or wrong. I would never ask you. You should never ask yourself to do that. So if you take those aside, nothing that you do moving forward in your transformation is bad. You're trying to change. You're pushing yourself. So if you've kind of taken baby steps, now it's time to get a little bit aggressive, get a little bit assertive, and really go after it. Have the willingness. What way can you? Gotta think outside of the box. What way can you go after it? What way can you get your goal? And go after it means get your goal, get it done, have the willingness, have the drive, go to do it. What's the wanting? What's the desire? What makes your energy just woo, like that Kundalini energy in yoga, where it just rises to the top and it just ignites you, it excites you. What does that for you? So where's that desire coming from? So again, self-compassion, loving yourself, forgiving yourself, not just forgiving other people. It's easy sometimes to forgive other people, forgive yourself. Don't hold on to the grudge, because what you're doing is you're drinking the cyanide, you're drinking the poison. That's the disease for you. So move past that. Have love and self-compassion. Forgive doesn't mean forget. Understand why you did something and move forward. So dig down deep in that shadow. Why does that trigger you? Have the assertiveness and that middle balance to support yourself. If you can't do that, find someone else. Have the willingness to do it. Where are you? Sometimes there are days, hey, I don't want to be on the live, or I don't want to be on another video call. Oh my gosh, it's too much. But why am I doing it? So it's that self-talk, getting out of the monkey mind. Why am I doing it? And the first thing you want to do is, if you don't understand where that undecisiveness is coming from, or that procrastination, or why are you stubborn about the change, what is causing that? So write it down, take some notes, definitely freehand. Get your left hand, right? Your non-dominant hand, and write. What is that one answer that comes forward, right? If you can't think and you're writing stuff down, and you're just like, I got to write this down and I got to get this off so I can bring up the junk or the toxicness, what's in my monkey mind, and burst past that, just kick it out of the way. What is it that I need to address in my shadow, my inner child, deeper, deeper, deeper than the inner child? What happened to you, but the shadow of why we do it, how often we've done it, where it's crept up in our lives. It's part of us. It's a learning lesson. Write with your non-dominant hand, because that's the answer that you're going to write down, is that first answer, right? Write it down. What's the number one answer? What's that number one answer? It's the first answer usually that comes up as the right answer. Especially we talk about it as energy workers all the time. What's that first bubble, that first burst that comes up to you? And so I have some tips for you, some tools for you on, here are some things I want to offer you, because just moving past that sabotage moment, moving past the trigger and recognizing the trigger, you want to be able to have the tools around you, because sometimes we can't get out of that monkey mind. Sometimes we need to detach and deflect it on something else. So when you're talking about assertiveness, you want to talk about selenite. Why selenite? Because selenite's right in the middle. Selenite's a balancer. Selenite's that neutral line. And I love to keep this one because it is a line. It's so that doesn't cross the line. That's what it symbolizes to me. Selenite is more neutrality. Here is some other stuff, just checking. And here, checking on my site. That's what happens when you are running a business and you're doing it all alone, because you can. And that's okay. Because I can, because I want to share this with people. Gold is spiritual wealth. Gold is spiritual wealth. So when we're talking about gold, here's something that will raise your vibration. It's got amethyst in it. So it's a higher vibration, more of a royalty, a higher chakra in there, that crown chakra. It also means communion, to commune with the spirit, and gold is strong. Gold is powerful. That's why gold is in its commodity and its worth. And a gold coin is worth so much. A gold bar is worth a ridiculous amount of money, but it helps with spiritual enlightenment. So if you just need to release and have that faith, and you're ready to just go ahead and trust your intuition and let those answers come up for you, to move forward, you can meditate with gold. Keep selenite around. Selenite's good for balancing. Sometimes I put that between myself and my computer to keep that balance on what's going on and what I want to hear, see, or do, to keep myself in my little happy space, surround myself. And let's look at some oils. So here is clary sage. Clary sage is great for hormonal balance. It is great to keep you when you're talking about birthing a new project. Last year, 8 of 8, so the Lion's Gate opened up. The Lion's Gate was all about the rebirth of the spirit, the rebirth of creativity, and that birthing canal of when we birth children, we are birthing life. It helps relieve in insomnia, but it also helps with peaceful feelings. It goes along great with geranium. Why does it go along great with geranium? Because geranium is another balancer for the hormones, which is also all about that magical balance in our hormones. As women, we need to embrace. We've kind of taken it from being that homemaker moment. We were the goddess, right? The warrior, and then we were the homemaker. And then we went into, the woman's power. Some of us went a little bit too on that warrior path. So we got to bring it back and balance it. Geranium alleviates anxiety. And so these two oils together are great for that balance. If you're having a problem where you're feeling really strong and you need to bring it back just a little bit for great balance, and it will help you open up to feel that willingness to have the self-compassion. It's a gentle oils. They are very fragrant, very floral. You can just smell them. You can diffuse them. They are very yummy. And sometimes I like to add lime, and this can be different from a lot of people, but I like to add the lime oil with this, and that lime kicks it up. That lime gets that assertiveness and that drive and that willingness going. It's great in tequila, but it is also a beautiful, beautiful oil. I like to mix these three again. So it's geranium, clary sage, and lime, and I'll put those together. Why are those so great for self-compassion, assertiveness, and willingness? Because they help balance you. They help open you up to new ideas, and they help you birth and create your new project. So when we're talking about self-leadership, being triggered and going from triggered to triumph, you want to be balanced, you want to be grounded, and you want to be able to dive in. So when the opportunity comes, you can see it. You'll have the clarity to see when opportunity knocks on your door, right? So if this jives with you, hit me up and say, yes, it definitely jives with me. I want to hear more. Also, I'm putting my link in here for a discovery call with me. It's free. It's something I do as a coach because I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your strengths, your weaknesses, and get you on that path of clarity. So go ahead, either go to my website, sabotagesmasher.com, or you'll see the link to schedule with me. It's a free complimentary 30-minute call. We're going to talk about how to get your path to self-leadership and boss up and be the boss of you. Get that emotional intelligence to drive it home. Have that willingness, have that self-compassion, but keep that drive, right? Have a great day, guys, and let me know how this jives with you. Hit me up.